Learn how to win a property bidding war. In fact, as you're going to see, you don't even need to be the highest bidder in order to win a property bidding war. You often want to avoid a war in the first place, and if you stick around until the end, you're going to have 16 tactics for winning a property bidding war. Hi, I'm Keith Weinhold. This is Get Rich Education. Now first, understand the market. Should you buy this property? Should you potentially get in a bidding war? I don't know. John Burns Real Estate Consulting recently revised their appreciation expectation for this year up to 12% appreciation this year alone. So if you're looking at a primary residence, you better be sure you want to live there for a while. And if it's a rental property, see that it cash flows, see that income is going to meet expenses. But that first way is understanding the market, whether that be through the MLS or Zillow. Getting to know that market. And you know what? When you look for a property in, say, a narrow price range, say you're looking for a property between $500K and $600K in sale price, and you're looking in a particular area, you know what? You can often become more of an expert than the agent that you might employ because you study just that niche of the market so closely, so you know what's overpaying and what's a deal. Understand the market. The second way to win a property bidding war is to show your mortgage pre-approval to your buyer agent and the seller side. That way those parties know that you're worth spending their time on and that you are a qualified buyer. It only makes sense that they would want that pre-approval letter. So that letter, that comes from your lender. It shows an exact dollar amount that you are approved for, that exact loan amount, because that's based on documentation that you've already supplied, like your W-2 and how much you have in your bank account and what your DTI, your debt to income ratio is, and your credit score and your reserve requirements and things like that. And a pre-approval letter is better than a mere pre-qualification letter. Pre-qualification is more nebulous, hazy, and might even just be based on some verbal information. So get that pre-approval letter. The third way is pick a buyer agent that's professional and is going to act courteous toward the seller and the seller side. The fourth way to win a property bidding war is understand that speed kills. If you're going to get into searching for your next property, you might want to open up some time for yourself in this market so that you can be speedy and responsive. The fifth way, and this is so simple, is just ask. Just ask the seller side what it would take to get your offer accepted right away. Now you may or you may not get an answer to that question, but so many people overlook the simplicity of just asking. Find out what it would take. It's incredible how many people don't do that and they end up guessing and maybe even overpaying because they didn't just simply ask what the seller wants. The sixth way is that you can write a letter or shoot a video and show that to the prospective seller. I've done this before. What this does is it humanizes things. Does the seller like you? Are you a likable person? Would they be a little happy if you got their home? I mean, this could include something like you and your spouse have a 3-year-old and a dog, and you're into gardening, and the backyard is flat and it's perfect for your greenhouse where you like to grow tomatoes, and you won first prize for the best tomatoes at the state fair last year. You know, it sounds a little touchy-feely, and it is, but it normalizes or it humanizes things. Sometimes that's what it takes in a competitive market to help win a bidding war. The seventh way that you can win a bidding war is use the seller's preferred title agent or the seller's preferred lender even. Find out what they want. Build this context of normalcy and comfort for the seller. Make it easy for them. Know that they can trust in the parties that you've chosen to help close the deal. Make that seller comfortable. The eighth way is that you can offer more earnest money than the customary 1% or 2% or 3%. So your earnest money deposit, oftentimes you'll see that abbreviated EMD in the contract. This shows good faith on your part that if the seller accepts the offer and you fall out of contract because you've defaulted on the contract, then that seller gets your earnest money deposit. Now, you often have a number of contingencies in the contract to get your earnest money deposit back if something falls through in the contract, but understand that if the seller accepts your offer and they take their home off the market, now they've put some risk into this deal. They're losing time while they're waiting for you to close. So offer more earnest money, showing that really good faith and serious intent on your part in order to get the property. And the earnest money deposit, if you close on the property, that does go toward your down payment, and therefore it's not lost as long as you stay in contract. The ninth way that you can win a property bidding war, and this is really where we get into the bidding war part here, is to simply offer more than the asking price. Recently, on a national level, the sale price has exceeded the list price by a little bit. So this is becoming increasingly more common. So say there's a $500K property that you want, and you offer $520K in order for your offer to stand out. Understand that this now puts pressure on the appraisal. If you want an 80% loan, now you need to get 80% of the $520K that you've offered, and you need to get a $520K appraisal rather than the $500K list price. And an appraisal is basically a tool for the bank to check the quality of their collateral. They don't want to over-lend. So what one needs to do now, if that appraisal does not come in, say you offer $520 and the appraisal only comes in at $500, you're only going to get $400K, 80% of that $500. So if you're only going to get $400K from the bank and you've offered $520K, you now need to come up with $120K to come to the closing table, not just $100K. And that really is the next way to win a property bidding war, is to put in the contract that you are willing to pay X amount over the appraisal. It shows that seller that you are really serious if that's what you want to do. The 11th way to win a property bidding war is to add an escalation clause to your contract. That means if you bid a certain amount for the property and you overbid, your escalator will automatically kick in and you'll bid even more than that competing amount does. And it shows good faith. You need an ethical buyer agent that's not going to reveal to that seller the highest price that you would pay, but that escalation clause allows you to stay on top of things without having to be responsive and text or call your agent back and forth. The next way is to have your agent prepare multiple contracts with different purchase offers. This is similar to the escalation clause so that they can quickly and automatically put in that next offer for you. So it's about preparing multiple offers in order to stay on top of that. The 13th of 16 ways to win a property bidding war is to waive the home inspection. Yes, that independent third-party inspection where after you're in contract, meaning after the seller's accepted your offer, that inspector comes over, but you don't have them come over, you just waive that. Oftentimes the inspector comes in and makes all kinds of findings that the seller needs to repair for you before you can close. For example, a window seal is broken and condensation is coming in, or a furnace has some sort of cracked heating element and needs to be replaced by the next winter. So the inspector comes over and makes all these little findings. You can choose to waive that. That is risky. That is something that I've never done, but one thing I have done that might work for you in a bidding war is go ahead and offer that inspector a bonus if they come over and inspect it in a really timely fashion, say within 24 hours. That way you still get your inspection without losing your timeline for your property, but make sure that that inspector also furnishes the report to you in a certain amount of time. They can't just come over and look at it. They've got to furnish that report to you in 24 or 48 hours or whatever you want to do if you want to give that inspector a bonus to be prompt. Hey, one thing I learned, if you like the information that you're getting on this channel, is that if you subscribe, when you subscribe, go ahead and hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when a new video is available for you here. The 14th way you can win a property bidding war is to pay all cash for a property. That makes it speedy for the seller. If speed is important to them and that they close quickly, there's no need to wait around for financing and an appraisal and an approval and a closing and all of those sorts of things. I am an advocate of using leverage here at GRE, as you know, so if you do pay all cash, you might have the option later after closing to go in and get an 80% loan. However, that would take 2 steps and it would take more of your admin time, but it will increase the chances that you get the property in the first place. The 15th way that you can win a property bidding war is waive contingencies. Waive as many as you possibly can. The most common contingency, or one of the most, is what's called a contingent sale. And that is that you need to sell your existing home and get the equity out of that before you can purchase this new home. Well, that doesn't look very appealing to the seller. They need to wait on your sale to happen before their sale with you can happen. So that doesn't look so good. Another one might have to do with the inspection. If you did get a property inspection, again, don't be too nitpicky. Waive some contingencies. Say that the inspector found that there was a big dent in a bedroom door. Do you really want to hold up closing until they fix that for you or not? Or do you want to waive that? That's up to you. It has to do with how bad you want the property. It's not the time to be nitpicky. If that seller wanted to take their nice refrigerator with them out of their kitchen and you thought it looked nice and you were hoping that it was yours, well, then you probably don't want to say you've got to keep the fridge there or I won't close. So don't be nitpicky. Again, we're making it easier for the seller if you think it's worth it. The 16th way to win a property bidding war is be flexible. Say the seller has their home on the market, but their kids are still going to be in school for 90 days, so they don't want to vacate the home for 90 days, but you want to close in just 40 days? Well, then what you can do is close in that 40 days after you've made your offer, if that's what it ends up being, and then for the final 50 days, that seller can rent back the home from you because you'll be the owner in that point. So they'll actually be your renter for those 50 days until you move in at the end of the 90 days. So it's about being flexible. Find out what your seller wants and what's going to keep them happy. Well, hey, do you have any other ideas for ways to win a bidding war, maybe that I didn't mention? Go ahead and put those in the comments below. I'll take a look at them. I'll reply to those. You might help out the entire community here with more than 16 ways to win a bidding war if you can think of any. So why am I still talking here? It's a competitive market. Again, speed kills, so go out there and do this. You're 1,000% going to put at least one of these tactics into place to give you a better chance at landing the property you want and living a better lifestyle. I'm Keith Weinhold. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Americans are not saving for retirement. It's going to get worse as people live longer, so you need to think differently, but you can't lose your time. Real estate is the investment vehicle that has created more million and billionaires than anything else. Get Rich Education is one of America's top investing shows disrupting Wall Street. Your host, Keith Weinhold, is a true financial educator and has been an income property investor since 2002. Get Rich Education has created millions in passive monthly income for its followers. Now, Keith has a free book, The 7 Money Myths That Are Killing Your Wealth Potential. Get your copy now at getricheducation.com/book. Invest in what produces income for you now and later. Use the link in the description to download for free The 7 Money Myths That Are Killing Your Wealth Potential. Get Rich Education is on every podcasting platform and has its own native iOS and Android apps. Join Get Rich Education Nation to create financial freedom through real estate investing. Subscribe wherever you listen.